Hello, welcome from Minnesota. So for our first video, we're going to talk about exponential form. Let's get started. There's the lake if you wanted to see it. Here we go. So we'll start with a title. So we have exponential form because that's what we're talking about. And with exponential form, there's some important things to remember. So the first important thing is that what is an exponent? So when we talk about an exponent, we talk about it as being the little number next to a bigger number. So that's what we mean by an exponent, that 2 right there. And an exponent, the second important thing is the exponent tells us to multiply a number by itself, the number of times the exponent says. So for some examples, let's take that 10 to the second, and that's how we say that. 10, we say 10 to the second, because it's a 2. So if I have 10 to the second, we're talking about that 2, right? That's the important number. And what that means is multiply it by itself. So 10 times 2. 2 tens multiplied by itself. And of course, if we do that, we get 100. So 2 tens, the 2 tells us 2 tens. Now let's try it. Now if I have 10 to the third, that's how we say that. I have 3 tens being multiplied by itself. So my answer would be 100 times 10, or 1,000, because 10 100s make 1,000. I have 3 tens. I get 1,000. And this works, if I wanted to do 10 to the 6th. Now, these are all examples involving 10, and what I'm going to show you next only works for tens. Only for tens. This is important. So 10 to the 6th, I can do 10 times 10 times 10, and I could do it all the way out, but instead I'm just going to say times 10. And my answer, here's the trick. So before, if I had 2, I had 2 zeros, 2 tens, and 2 zeros in my answer. 10 to the third, I had 3. I had 3 tens, and I had 3 zeros in my answer. So 10 to the 6th, the pattern continues. If I have a 6, it's like I have 6 tens built in, so my answer is going to have 6 zeros. I don't need to multiply it out, I don't need anything, I can just know that there are going to be 6 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Right? Now, if I multiply, so how this works for other numbers, so that's the relationship between tens and zeros. How this works for other numbers, same thing, just doesn't have a cool trick like the tens do. So if I have like 6 to the second, that's like 6 times 6, which is 36. If I have 7 to the third, or 7 cubed, I have 7 times 7 times 7. That's the same, I could break it up. I could do 7 times 7 is 49. Times 7, my answer will be 343. How this works with some of the things that you might see on your sprint today. So how this works with our sprint. So if I have like 3 times 10 to the third, that's the same as 3 times 1,000, which we talked about before, which is the same as 3,000. And if I have like 15 times 10 to the second, that's the same as 15 times 100, or 1,500. And that's kind of the rule, right? We can put that 3 in front with the number of zeros that we talked about earlier, right? With the tens, since we're only really working with tens today. And if I have 15, you know I have 15 here and 15 here with the number of zeros behind it that it says in the exponent. 2 zeros. And that's pretty much it for exponents. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me and I'll make another video. Hope this helps. Bye.